I read a lot of comments that people are basically thinking we're not going to have any drivers signed up. So really excited to surprise a lot of people with how many drivers are going to be full-time with the high limits next year. And, excited to announce, everything that goes along with being a full-time high limit racing driver.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the High Limit Room. It's the off-season edition / preview 2024 edition. I'm Dillon Welch, Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet with us again, as always. A lot to talk about. Recording this on Friday, December 1st, about an hour after the 2024 schedule was released. So we'll talk about that in a second. We normally, of course, do a victory toast. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Kyle just got back from Nashville. So nobody probably is in the mood to drink anything right now, but we have to congratulate, unless Brad has something. We have to congratulate Brad on his 5th World of Outlaw Championship. Kyle, of course, we haven't talked to since he wrapped up the High Limit Championship last year, has a couple USAC wins in there on the West Coast as well. So guys, congrats. Brad, congratulations on another title. And we're excited now that we can officially talk about you going high limit racing full time next year, though. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been a great run. Obviously, 5 straight championships. It's been grueling, and we have a great team behind us. It's a huge accomplishment. A lot of great drivers, and just crazy that been able to pull it off every year. It's been close, and it's always a nail biter, but was able to really, finish it out strong at the World Finals with a walk-off win. So that felt really good. But like you said, it's the next chapter starting, and, high limit racing's here, and obviously announcing the schedule was huge for us today. So just really excited to start the next chapter here.
Kyle, what did wrapping up the championship, the high limit championship, represent to you, and ultimately kind of what did it mean for you just with your career and all you've accomplished?
Yeah, for me, it was cool. I haven't ever really gotten to compete for a championship, or at least many of them on the dirt stuff, just with where my career's gone, really since 2011. So no, it was nice to get to be in that mindset of trying to be consistent while also, managing the aggressiveness and all that. And thankfully we put together, 11 good races. Rico put a lot of pressure on the last 4 races or so. And, I thought before those 4 races, I was like, man, we're going to be blowing them out here by the last couple. But Rico was strong. So it was fun. It was fun and a great accomplishment for our team. And, it's just, it was cool, like I said, to chase some points. So, look forward to the upcoming midweeks series for me. And, would love to go back to back, and be great to beat Brad in a points scenario. That'd be fun. He's obviously the best when it comes to points racing these days. So it'd be cool to finally get our opportunity to compete against each other for some points.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brad.
Well, I was gonna say, how many high limit races are you racing? Well, actually, I know you're doing all the midweek, and then how many more after that?
Looking at the schedule, I think I'm probably somewhere like 20 to 22 probably. So a fair amount of them, which is exciting. So obviously the midweek ones are easy to get to. And then, the races that we'll have like at Texas and Lakeside really help, as well as some other ones. So, I definitely want to get out to some of the West Coast races. Really pumped about the West Coast swings. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few I think that we can hit, and I'm excited about that.
Cool.
There's an article on FloRacing, of course, that has the full schedule, and I'm sure that we can probably get that put on the screen once we edit this all and everything. But we'll just kind of run through some of the highlights for you, and Brad and Kyle can certainly share their thoughts. 60 races across 19 states, over $4 million in prize money. And then, of course, as Kyle mentioned, the midweek series returns this year. That's a separate $100,000 points fund, but just of course within the full 60 race schedule. There's a lot of highlights on this schedule. Back at Eldora, $100,000 to win race there. The Gold Cup Race of Champions is added to the high limit schedule at Silver Dollar Speedway, which is a race I know that's important to both of you guys. Skagit Nationals, $100,000 to win in Washington. Tuscarora 50 is on there. Commonwealth Clash at Lernerville. Eagle Nationals, $50,000 to win. The list goes on and on of these kind of big races that are starting off the 2024 season or are involved in the 2024 season. But what are your guys' thoughts on the schedule? Are you happy with how it all came together? Is there stuff you wish was on there that's not? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of work to put it together. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that we wanted, on there. We had some races in Wisconsin we were, pretty confident about, but weren't able to ultimately, get booked. And, so that was disappointing, but obviously a lot of people believe in what we're doing with High Limit Racing. And we were able to put together a really great schedule. The midweek thing looks really great. We're going to some great racetracks. Obviously, like you mentioned, the West Coast swing is bigger, which is important to Kyle and I. To be able to elevate the Gold Cup to 100,000 to win race is really special for us, and just excited to compete for all the big races. Last year I was on the headset at a lot of the races, and Lakeside was great. It's 50,000 to win. Eagles 50,000 to win. Going to Lernerville for big money. So a lot of great racetracks. Port Royal, just Skagit, just kind of so many great things. It seems like every time we're going to be going to the racetrack, it's going to be for something big, and then. You have freedom to do some other stuff. So the ceiling is not set for you. You can certainly go out and accomplish a lot next year.
What do you think? What are you most excited about as far as just the overall schedule? And then maybe what races are you excited about running the most?
Yeah. Well, obviously the midweek schedule, since I'll be able to do all that, those are some great racetracks, and, a couple of them that I haven't been to before. So that'll be exciting. As Brad mentioned, all the big races too, all the 50, 100,000 win races. That's amazing. But for sure, I think I'm most excited for the whole West Coast swing. Just because that's where we grew up. 410 racing is tried to make a comeback over the last 5 or so years, but I really think this is going to help 410 racing on the West Coast a ton. I mean, I don't see a reason why, if you had a 360, why you wouldn't go, purchase a 410 to try and chase all this money now. So I think it's definitely going to help the West Coast, which is great for the overall health of sprint car racing. So that's exciting. And then ending our season, I think at Texas too is really cool. They've got a great facility there. We'll get to have our banquet and celebrate the season there. They've got a nice banquet hall. So all of that's really exciting. I don't think there's anything that I don't think is exciting about our schedule. So looking forward to what everybody thinks about it. Obviously, as Brad mentioned, there was definitely some regions we wish that we could get to, but politics kind of got in the way. So we'll just keep working at it. We're new, we're young, and hopefully we'll make everybody proud throughout this year, and things will be a little bit easier next year.
Brad, you mentioned it that last year you were just kind of the boots on the ground guy. What do you anticipate being the challenge this year of being a full-time driver, but also still kind of having somewhat of a responsibility in just kind of making sure things run smoothly, or will those be completely separate this year?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really important to put a really great team together. And I think that's what we, ultimately are accomplishing. Obviously we'll announce, our officiating team, and it's going to be led by Mike Hess, and he's done a great job, being a race director over the years. And I think he's the best guy that we could possibly get. So I can't wait, to announce kind of the rest of the team, because it's pretty good what they've been able to put together. So I honestly think that at the track I'll be a race driver just like everybody else. It's Monday morning. Obviously I want to work on the overall show and how we do things on the business side, and make sure promoters are happy, and make sure the race teams are happy, and just keep trying to make sure everybody's working together for the greater goal of what we're trying to accomplish. So yeah, I think I'm excited as a race driver driving the Napa Auto Parts, Kasey Kahne Racing number 49 car, looking at all the big money, big events, and some new racetracks. And the freedom side of it, I'm just really excited next year to go out there and really try to win races. I mean, it's been all about points, and ultimately we want to be the high limit racing champion next year. But I also, have some big goals to win a lot of these big races for sure.
Kyle, you mentioned that the series ends at Texas, kind of in collaboration with NASCAR weekend, and then also the Lakeside race in the spring that is tied in with NASCAR Kansas City. What's the value of that to you, just from an exposure standpoint to that side of the sport, and potentially trying to get some new sprint car fans, aware of what's going on?
Yeah, I think, so the April weekend will be when it's the NASCAR at Texas. But yeah, when you can get, for me, I think when you can get that crossover between NASCAR and sprint cars and whatever else may be at the racetrack, I think that's important. I think it's important when you get a cup guy like myself to go race a sprint car, because hopefully you'll get at least a few hundred NASCAR fans who've maybe never been to a dirt race to come across the street to check it out and really get a glimpse of how exciting this form of racing is and how gritty and grassroots it is. So yeah, that'll be fun. I've never raced on that track at Texas. I believe they'll have their micro program again throughout the week too. So there's going to be a lot of racers on property and a lot of race fans too. So that's going to be a fun one. I've seen that track race really well. And then obviously Lakeside is a great facility also, and it always has an awesome crowd. They've got a great fan following already. So yeah, it's exciting to have that crossover. The Golden Isle dates too, where I can run the late model with the sprint car, Atomic also later in the year. That's important for me. I feel like I'm the one guy who kind of does a lot of crossover, and that's, the whole goal of mine is just to grow motorsports. And it's been fun to kind of be the guy pioneering that and leading the charge and getting people talking about not just one form of racing. So yeah, that's fun. I enjoy it. And I look forward to getting on track and everything this coming year.
A lot to be excited about for sure. It all kicks off on Monday, February 12th at East Bay in Florida. You can check out the full 60 race schedule on FloRacing.com, in addition to all the other great content on there as well. The high roller announcements are coming in hot and heavy. We've got 3 of them lined up today to chat with, and our first guest will be up next. This is the High Limit Room on FloRacing. Our first high roller that we have on today is none other than Kasey Kahne, Brad's car owner and teammate. So Kasey, we're excited that you're going to be with the High Limit Series the full year. I want to just give you an opportunity to fluff Brad's ego here. You obviously worked with him in a lot of different capacities for a long time as a teammate, as a driver owner. But what leadership qualities does Brad have that you've seen kind of him put on display that are going to allow this series to be successful and have allowed it to be successful already?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. One of the biggest things to me is how involved he has gotten into sprint car racing over the years. And so he's touched from promoting, driving, doing different races. Now with the series, he understands a lot of kind of the ins and outs of sprint car racing from so many different aspects. And I think it's pretty cool how involved, how much he's got into sprint car racing over the year. And he can look at it from a lot of areas that most people can't. Yeah, no, it's for me too. I would say the same thing, Brad's. It blows my mind kind of how he can stay like focused on everything that he's doing and perform at a high level in the race car, out of the race car, all that. So no, it's pretty amazing. I don't know how he balances it all, but I'm wondering, Kasey, you spent so long, on the Outlaw Tour, owning cars and winning championships. I think you've won 6 championships as an owner. Like how excited, how cool is it to now transition to be, a part of something new? What are your thoughts on all that? I think as an owner, going into the high limit racing, I feel with, just starting out, what High Limits is bringing to it, what they're looking at from an owner standpoint, from a driver standpoint, the opportunity for the racetracks and the fans that are going to come out. the shows, the quickness and the way that the shows will flow. I feel like they're looking at all those things and trying to elevate sprint car racing in a lot of different ways. And I really like what I see on the owner side. I think it gives me an opportunity to think about, working with other owners, working with drivers, with, Flow Sports, everybody to just make sprint car racing better. And I'm excited about that. On the driving side, I love the schedule. I love the money that the drivers are getting to race for. The schedule, the West Coast schedule is going to be great. It's going to be the biggest race that Washington State has ever had in sprint cars, which will be really cool to be part of that as we go up the West Coast. And then just throughout the entire country, I just think there's a lot of opportunity as an owner, a driver, and then fans and promoters, all of it, that it's going to be a great season and a great show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess from my perspective, not necessarily a question, but just, from High Limit standpoint, we just really appreciate you, giving us the chance and committing full time. It's huge, it takes a lot to run up and down the road and make that type of commitment. So we just really want to thank you personally, obviously allowing me to make the move with the 49 car and being so supportive with Napa Auto Parts, and then you to, also do it with your number 9 team. So just really appreciate it. And obviously look forward to going up and down the road with you next year and hopefully having a lot of great times and creating some good memories.
Yeah, absolutely. I do the same. I think, what you and what the Napa team have accomplished in sprint car racing over the last 5 to 10 years, even, it's incredible. And yeah, I'm looking forward to racing with you all year and being part of that.
Kasey, you've been involved in dirt track open wheel racing for a long time. What excites you the most right now, just kind of about the state of the sport and just how it's grown and the trajectory that it's on at this point?
I just think there's a lot of opportunity to see a great sprint car race coming in 2024. Throughout the entire country, there's the money that the teams are going to be racing for, the money that the drivers are looking to win. I mean, all that stuff is part of it. And the fans can come and enjoy a show that can be 3 to 4 hours. They can enjoy from the time they get to the track until they leave. And I really like that. I think there's a lot of sprint car, racing over the years where, it just takes a lot out of you to be there for such a long period of time. And I feel like High Limit Racing has done a great job of trying to speed up that process if you're there at the track. And then if you're streaming, it even makes it even better there. So yeah, looking forward to all of that.
I'll ask this too, as a owner and driver, get both perspectives. Is it as tough right now in sprint car racing as it's ever been, in your opinion, from a competition standpoint?
I think so. I feel like when you show up at the track, there's so many quality teams, drivers. To me, everybody's putting out a very similar product, which is, the best equipment, engine, everything you need to go out and win. And then, at that point, it relies on the setups of the cars, the drivers, and the teams and how they all prepare and work together. And that's where you see the certain teams that are much better than the others. But overall, I mean, there's just so much speed in every car that's at every race, and you can have 30, you can have 60. And the races, I mean, sometimes it's really hard just to make the actual 25, 24 car field.
Right, Kyle, anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
I do. I think, and fans, I think, would want to know this. And I do, especially because, I'm doing what you were doing and racing full time in Cup. But how much fun are you having? How much fun is it traveling up and down the road with Amy and your kids and going racing, dirt track racing, sprint car racing? Because I know how much you look forward to doing that when your days of NASCAR are over. And, as I'm, who knows how deep into my NASCAR career, like I look at you and how much, and I feel like you're having a lot of fun. And I look forward to the day that I finally get to be a full-time, sprint car racer. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit jealous at times, but just curious how much fun is it actually to be doing what you're doing right now in your life?
So we're having a blast, and it's, Amy supports it. She loves it. Tanner, when he comes with us, he has a blast. And just to be able to have the motorhome, have all, Anna's learning the road and how to travel a bit. So, to have that and do it with them has been perfect for me. I've enjoyed every bit of it. The racing side, I think, it's tough it's tough to get beat every single night, and then come back and be excited about the next race. But one thing that I see with the high limit is the schedule is so, to me, you can race so many times in, say, 3 weeks or a month straight. And then you can take a minute and kind of regroup and go and do something else and come back and even, and feel great about what you're doing again, racing. So I love the schedule. I think it works perfectly for me. It gives you lots of opportunity, whether you want to race more or less. And I think it'll only help, the fun that we're having right now, traveling around the country and getting to see all these places and do it together, with 2 kids and Amy. It's been fun.
It's cool.
All right. If nobody else has anything, we'll let you go, Kasey. Appreciate it. And thank you for committing and being a high roller. Again, excited to have you and looking forward to seeing you at East Bay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Jacob Allen, our next high roller, joining us here on the High Limit Room. Jacob, we're excited as well that you're committed to the full schedule and all 60 races. So let's talk about just last year. You stepped away for a time to just kind of get your mind right and get fully back involved and invested in the sport. So what about this schedule and the High Limit Series appealed to you and made it the right fit for you?
Oh man, I feel like there's, tons of things about it. One that sticks out to me is just, the freedom of it. 10 years with the World of Outlaw Tour, the schedule's always basically the same as far as I can remember. It's a lot of Friday, Saturday. For me, I drive my motorhome to every event. I don't fly home. And I've been sitting in parking lots for lots of days out of the year, and it just, wears you out. And I don't know of like the exact details of it all, but like, you could be going this way across the country and then you just turn around and go back the other way across the country, and they're 500-mile trips or 400-mile trips. And that stuff just burns you out. I mean, that's just hard to keep up with it. And I understand maybe if you're somebody who's winning all the time and you kind of got that mojo going, where you're like racking in the money or whatever, kind of keeping you going. But I mean, the crew guys and everybody else, I mean, you're just zigzagging across the country. You're told where you have to be, every race out of the year. And that stuff just burns me out, So not just me, there's a lot of people out there that get completely burnt out. We're like, what are we doing with ourselves? Yeah, it's rough, So just that, and I just wanted to take care of stuff at home. I didn't have a house, and now I have a house, and I feel great. I'm ready to race. High Limits has got such a good opportunity for me with all the midweek stuff, different tracks, and just with a good group of guys. I mean, I love the group of guys that are a part of High Limits, and I feel like it's more modern. I feel like the Outlaws feel a little outdated, same old song and dance. And I need something fresh, man. I got to keep up with the times.
Well, shoot, we're super excited to have you. So splitting up from Logan, this year obviously it'll be something new for Shark Racing. How do you feel about that? And obviously, what's the approach? For your dad, obviously he has Logan and supports you. So obviously, will he spend more time with you, or how's that look for Shark Racing in 2024?
Yeah, I would imagine my dad's going to be, riding in the toter, following the High Limits with me. And, he wants to race World of Outlaw races. Of course, he wants to race as much as possible, which is, great. I would imagine, he's hard to kind of get all that stuff out of him a little bit. but I would imagine he's going to be with me and coming on the High Limit Tour with me. As far as like me and Logan go, Logan wants to be a World of Outlaw champion. You know, that's where his goals are. That's where his mindset is. And I totally, you know, understand that for him. For myself, you know, I want to do, you know, what makes Jacob Allen happy and what schedule makes Jacob Allen happy. And I kind of want my own identity. I don't want it to always be like, you know, Jacob and Logan have like kind of the same goals and the same ambitions. And we just don't, you know, like I've grown up differently than he has with racing. And this is just such a great opportunity for me to be able to be Jacob Allen as an individual and go racing and kind of build Jacob Allen as his own individual brand. So I really look forward to it. I wish Logan nothing but the best. I mean, he's definitely in that small percentage of top tier race car drivers across the country. And I think he'll do great chasing, you know, for that World of Outlaw championship. But for me, that's just not my, you know, that World of Outlaw Tour is just not my thing. I support racing World of Outlaw races like Huset's and Eldora and Knoxville and all these great events that will probably continue to be, you know, amazing events to be a part of in racing. But just following that circuit is just not my thing anymore.
What you've seen our schedule, obviously, and yeah, I'm curious, like, because we don't go to PA a ton. What are you most excited about out of our 60 race schedule to get to?
Well, you know, looking at it a little more closely, I do feel like there's a lot of good bull rings in there. So I think that is something that excites me because we are a smaller team. So I think that'll save our motor package. So I do think for just that in particular part with like our motors and stuff, I think that'll be a good thing. And I like bull rings. I think they're a lot of fun. Everything doesn't have to be so perfect with your car. I think you can, you know, race it and not be such a factor. The freedom is a huge one for me. And just all the different tracks is a big one. But I would say I love that I see like the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The West Coast swing looks so good. Like you just, you know, you're going in the right direction. You're not going up to Placerville, back down to Hanford or anything like that. You're going straight up to Skagit and you're hustling and racing. And I love that. If I'm going to be out on the road and racing, I want to be racing. I don't care if I race 70 times a year, or 80 times a year, but I feel comfortable committing to 60 races. And if I race 80, I need to have the freedom to do it. Or, hey, like in my situation with our team, it's like these motors get like worn out, or my crew guys, just a couple of us. And like, I'm basically a crew guy with my team. Like we need some rejuvenation somewhere along the lines. Like I think High Limits is providing that to a guy like me. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but for me, I feel like it's just the perfect situation with, you know, freedom, the opportunity to still run 80 races, big money races, and a lot of like, you know, you're moving. And I like that. And I know High Limits has prioritized, you know, at least last year or this year, I mean, getting the races done a little bit sooner. I mean, sitting at Cedar Lake when you just have one support class with the World of Outlaws and you get done at midnight, it's like, why are we getting done at midnight? This is insane. You know, we got to, you know, not have that. That just kills it for me. You know, it takes it out of you a little bit.
I'll be the company man here and ask a question about Flo. So it's a new streaming audience for you coming over here, Jacob, racing full-time with High Limit. So what does that do just as far as, you know, potentially trying to get some new partners involved with you guys in Shark Racing, just having some new and different eyes on it maybe? Yeah,
I think, man, I love watching FloRacing. There's, you know, with like the little dirt series that they did with Kyle and Sunshine and T-Mez, that stuff's awesome. And like with the Chili Bowl and, you know, with High Limits this past year and the All-Stars, I feel like I ain't trying to dog too much here, but like I think Flo's got it going on. They're just, they're more class A, and just a little more modern than the old dirt vision. I mean, I'm not trying to be like this, but
that's the testimonial that is going to be all over the FloRacing social channels right there.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be a dog, dogging on the old dirt vision, but it's just what it is, man. I mean, if your eyes are good, you can just see it. It's painted right there. So, yeah, I think Flo gives a great opportunity to show, what our racing, sprint car racing is about. And I'm excited. I was talking to one of our partners yesterday, and they are looking into getting involved with FloRacing, and I'm excited about that. I think that they'll see that show a little bit differently, and having a driver directly involved with it. I think it'll be good. And as a series like High Limits being involved with Flo all year long, I think it's going to be good. Fan ran into me at the grocery store. He's like, I really like that FloRacing. I'm so glad you're going to be doing High Limits so I can, watch. So that's awesome. I look forward to being a part of Flo as well.
Brad, Kyle, anything else?
No, I was going to echo a little bit what he said. I think Flo does a good job at building brands, and building up people's brands with everything that they do on their platform. And Jacob Allen is in my opinion, just such a good dude. And I think everybody's seeing it right here, right now. And I think they're going to, hopefully do a good job of showcasing who Jacob Allen is, as well as all the other competitors on our series. So that's exciting for fans. That's exciting for me, who's, a competitor with Jacob, that people are going to realize how, I hope that they will get to, paint your guys' story of where you came from. Cause I remember going to Yuma, Arizona, and this is the first time I ever hung out with Jacob, and Shark Racing was pretty new, and they were, struggling at the time to make it up and down the road. And Jacob, this was the whole next night. We had raced on, say, a Saturday, and then this is now Sunday night, and he's still in his underwear, and they were sleeping in the trailer. The race cars were outside the trailer. They were sleeping inside the trailer. And I think just talking about that and showing where you guys have come from in the last 10 years is going to be great. So, and as I said, FloRacing does a good job of that. So I'm excited to showcase who Jacob Allen is.
I appreciate
I echo that. There's so many Jacob Allen stories that we could sit and talk for hours. I love, it's always my first thing when I get to the pitch. It's got to go hear my weekly Jacob Allen story. So I look forward to. I echo what Kyle said. I think Flo's going to tell the stories and help people learn and understand exactly who Jacob Allen really is and all of our stars. So I'm excited for that for this year.
Yeah, and I appreciate and we all laugh about it and this and that, and it's funny for me too. And I don't necessarily try to be funny and be some sort of comedian or anything like that, but those are true, stories. And I do love to share. I love to share those stories. And I like, sharing the story Kyle just told, because it's you kind of just forget about it. That's just how life was, man. I was just this little crusty kid out there, not even knowing what I was really involved in. And because of all the people I've, surround myself with, even on the World of Outlaw Tour, and all my competitors and all these races I've traveled to, that's why, I'm able to race the way I'm able to race or maintenance the car. I mean, it's all taught me so much about, racing and the whole business side of it. And it's made me, who I am and why my team is, why it is where it's at. So I want to tell our story a little bit more. I mean, there is definitely so many things of why we got to where we're at, and what we had to overcome, and sleeping in the trailers and all that stuff. So, I hope I get a chance to, shine a little more light on that or paint the picture a little bit better.
Love it. Well, that's I think that's our promise to you. We'll make sure you have the opportunity to to share your story, man. Excited to have you on the tour this year and appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for talking with me. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Jake. We look forward to this year, buddy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
me too, man.
Our last high roller announcement of the day is none other than the All-Star Circuit of Champions title is from this past year. That's Zeb Wise. Be back in the Radine Racing number 26 for the full high limit racing campaign in 2024. Zebby, congratulations on officially announcing it, and we're excited to have you. Looking forward to it. Hope you are too.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, schedule came out, and looking at it, there's a lot of new places for me that I haven't been to. So, yeah, a lot of new places for me to visit. A lot of places that I seem to go okay at that I'm looking forward to going to. So, yeah, I've never been. Actually, I don't know that I've raced a sprint car in California before. Oh, well, besides Trophy Cup, but no 410 races. So, yeah, looking forward to being out on the West Coast as well. Obviously, Skagit, I love going out there, and Red Dirt Raceway, always love that place. So, looking forward to going there as well.
That's cool. I'm curious, how are you doing? How is your body? You've taken some massive hits this year, dude. How are you? How were you feeling? How are you feeling now? And I bet you're ready for the off season to rest up and recover a little bit.
Yeah, it's been nice to take some time and just hang out and not, be on the road or have to go to another race. So yeah, Charlotte obviously was pretty brutal. Wasn't the only big hit I've taken. Kyle, you know that. But yeah, it was terrible. Honestly, I felt horrible after that. Did not feel good at all. Came back to the track though. Just to kind of let everyone know I was okay. And yeah, just been hanging out. I feel okay now. I feel completely fine. I'm going to skip Chili Bowl and stuff just to kind of be ready for next year and not have to worry about nothing. But yeah, just ready to get going for next year. I'm already tired of sitting at home and doing nothing. So yeah, ready to go.
Yeah, when you look at our schedule, what sticks out? What races are you the most excited about? Or what's your team goals for next year? Obviously, Kevin's a great car owner and a great supporter, and he supported us. So, just kind of curious, your relationship with him and what you're most excited about next year.
Yeah, I know Kevin's pumped about, high limit. He cannot talk enough about it, loves the idea of it. So, and I feel the same. I love it too. So, yeah, as far as the schedule goes, honestly, getting out to the West Coast, I'm excited for. Like I said, I haven't been out there much in a sprint car. So, a lot of those tracks will be new to me, besides Skagit. I've never been to Chico, so that will be new. Grays Harbor, Oregon. I don't even know that I've been to Oregon, so that will be new. Yeah, there's a lot of things to look forward to. Like I said earlier, a lot of places that I haven't been to that will be new. And I'm always excited to go to new tracks. It seems like, I've only ran the All-Stars my sprint car career. So I kind of ran a lot of the same places quite a bit. So it would be cool to, get to venture out to some new places and new scenery and all that.
Skagit, of course, owned by Zeb's car owner, Kevin Radine, $100,000 win race there. And then I-70, the Race Radine Foundation race in June, which is $26,000 to win, as it has been the last couple of years. So a couple of highlights there. Zeb, I don't want to focus too much on, your crashes last year, but how does that impact a driver when you have something like that and you have to get back in the car and just kind of saddle back up and put it behind you and go after it again?
Well, honestly, all my crashes, two of them that I've taken like breaks after, I've come back and won the first race back. So I'm not really sure why. But yeah, I don't think it affects me a whole lot. I've probably had some crashes that have slowed me down for a couple races, maybe like calm me down a bit. But yeah, it doesn't really affect me much. I feel like I'm just ready to get back in the car more than anything, and gets me excited to be back. And yeah, I mean, maybe it just makes you, put yourself, maybe in better positions and not, push it to the limit as much. Not that I really was pushing it, I feel like, at Charlotte, but just kind of got myself in a bad spot right off the start, and things happen. It wasn't really anyone's fault, I don't think. Just kind of I put myself in bad positions from the very start of the race, and feel like after a crash, you might think about that stuff a little more, and maybe run some things through your head quicker than you did before.
There's a lot of guys that you're going to race against next year on high limit that you've raced with in the past, but there's also some new guys like Brad. You're going to race against him a lot more. Few other guys that are in the pipeline that maybe you don't have as many laps racing against. So the competition is just going to be different, maybe elevated in some sense. So what kind of challenge do you anticipate that being? And are you looking forward to that challenge?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. This past year racing against Tyler was a really good test for me. Obviously he was out for a little bit, but there towards the end of the year, like we were still, basically tied in points like the whole end of the season. So that was a good test for me. I've never really raced for a championship before. So, and Tyler, I feel like is probably one of the best, honestly, at racing for a championship. It seems like he's always top 5, top 3. And so it was a good challenge for me to, figure out how to points race a little bit. And not that a lot changes, but you do think about it when you're running, 5th, 6th, 7th, that you don't need to push it to run, 4th or 3rd. So I think that was a really good kind of eye opener for me on points racing. And obviously Brad is very, very good at points racing. So racing with him is going to be I feel like almost a good mentorship, even though he's not mentoring me, but it'll be good for me to be able to watch that, firsthand. I've watched it on TV a bunch, but, watching it directly in person will be, in racing against him will be a great challenge that I'm looking forward to.
What about, let's talk about your motor program. You guys ran the Ford last year. I believe, am I correct? You guys have a full-time deal with Ford this year to run that all year?
Yep, okay. That's correct. We'll run Fords all year.
What have you thought of that motor as you guys have kind of worked to get it where you want it?
I love it. I'm very excited to run it all year. I said I don't remember when it was last year. Maybe it was after we won at Fremont with the Ford in. I said we don't need to change the motor again all year. I love it. I think the throttle response is really good. I think it's very easy to control, in my opinion. I know, drivers are different. Every driver is different. I'm not Donnie Schatz. And, we have a lot different driving style. Honestly, I'm not sure that anyone has the same driving style as Donnie. So I think, I really enjoy running it. Everyone at Ford is awesome. They're really, really informative and really, take what you say very serious and are trying very hard to make that thing, as good as it can be. And I think it's really good. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to having him in the car all year. I think it really helped our program on the half-mile stuff, just getting timed in better. And, I think it'll help our program, a lot.
Is there still much R&D work, would you say, with the engine currently, like when you were running it? Are you guys testing things, or are they fairly happy with where it's at now and feel confident that they can stick to a package and you'll go chase another championship?
Yeah, I think there's still a little bit of questions about just certain things, whether it's throttle response or the biggest thing would be kind of when we lift, it seems like it kind of wants to carry into the corner a little bit. And so they've been working really hard at getting that figured out, doing a lot of testing. I personally had not done any testing with them as far as with data on the car and stuff, but Donnie has been doing a lot as far as, getting that throttle response as good as they can. And so I think that's probably the only part that they're really testing with. I mean, I think I kind of screwed them up almost because I loved it right away and didn't really have many complaints. And I feel like Donnie just has that certain feel that he's looking for. And, he's been doing this a long time, so he's going to have that feel. And so they're, trying to get it good for him. And, I personally think it's, really, really close to being, a top contender as far as motor goes.
Cool. Well, we're excited to have you next year. Have you, obviously you're a young team and you got your first taste at running for a championship. Have you guys sat down with your team and kind of set some goals and expectations or, anything, for next year?
I have not yet. I'm sure that will be coming in the future with Kevin. Kevin likes goals, and I'm sure we will have that conversation. I think we were kind of all waiting on the schedule to come out and see what it looked like, and obviously, the competition too. But that doesn't really change our goals. We have our goals. I have my personal goals that I want to achieve, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think obviously there's a ton of money up for grabs. That's been pretty clear, throughout the schedule and points fund and all that. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting going.
Cool. Well, Zeb, we appreciate your time. Excited that you're going to be a full-time high roller next year, and looking forward to seeing you at East Bay. Have a good off season, rest up, and we'll be excited to watch you in February.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, and thank you, Brad and Kyle and Flo and everyone a part of this deal for making this happen. It's pretty cool to see it come all together.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Great to hear from those guys, and it doesn't stop there. I think there's going to be quite a few more announcements coming this week and within the next couple of weeks within PRI and everything that's involved over there in downtown Indianapolis. So as we said, a lot to be excited about. Brad, start with you. Final thoughts just from today's announcements and just what we have to look forward to coming up.
Yeah, I'm just super excited. I read a lot of, comments that people are kind of basically thinking we're not going to have any drivers signed up. So really excited to surprise a lot of people with how many drivers are going to be full-time with the high limits next year. And, excited to announce, everything that goes along with being a full-time high limit, racing driver. So we have a lot of perks, and, we're going to have all our drivers at all of our races, and, they're going to have the freedom to go win some money other places too. So just really excited for all the upcoming stuff that we have, from PRI. Next week, I think a lot of things will start to be really clear for a lot of people.
Kyle, anything for you? Anything you're looking forward to?
No, just it was good to hear from everybody, and kind of you're getting to hear how excited everybody is about being a part of something new, and the schedule and all that. So as you guys have mentioned, this is a big week where even more news gets dropped. So with PRI coming up, so yeah, excited to start laying out more things for the public about what we have planned, and I think as more and more information gets out there, people are going to realize that we're the real deal, and we're doing some great things for the sport that's going to make it really healthy long term. So just excited to get that out slowly, and then look forward to some tough competition on the racetrack.
The work in the news never stops. That is for sure. Winter's a busy time, even with no racing going on, but lots to look forward to and lots to follow along with in the coming weeks. You can follow everything on social media at High Limit Racing on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and of course on FloRacing as well for all the latest breaking news on everything High Limit Racing. Guys, thank you for your time. Thanks to Kasey, Jacob, and Zeb as well for their time, and excited to get them on the tour next year. So we'll wrap it up for today, but stay tuned. There's plenty more from the High Limit Room coming up in the next few weeks.